Our opening words come from Barbara Peskin. For the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue-green ball, yes. Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place, to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live. Welcome us. Is in honor of Mother's Day, which I didn't know until very recently is actually a pretty profoundly UU event. It was founded by a Unitarian, Julia Ward Ho, about 144 years ago as Mother's Day for Peace. So we light the chalice this morning in honor of the ways that we, of any age and any gender, are mothers of peace for one another, or would be if we could. People who probably need no introduction. Bonnie Palecek is a longtime friend of mine and the person who recruited me to come to North Dakota, however many years ago that was, the founder of the domestic violence movement in this state. Ronya Hoblit is an artist and author and poet, and the Native American Training Institute is extremely lucky to have her. These are our honest reflections, as honest as we can be at this time. Over the years, I kind of developed a habit of hating Mother's Day, and it's been tough to kick. A few years ago, as I filled out financial aid forms of one kind or another for seminary, I had at the time 2 rescued birds, at least 2 dogs, umpteen cats, a resident partner, a beloved foster daughter who came and went, a beloved foster son-in-law who came and went with her, and the high-tech financial aid form calculated my family size automatically as 1. How do I negotiate family, motherhood, mothering, let alone Mother's Day? Am I a mother if no legal document in the world says so? How am I a mother? Who are the mothers who shore me up when questions like these lead me to despair? The mothers who gave me life, give me life, and give my mothering life again and again and again. How do we negotiate all the private, longing, hopeful, lingering, despairing questions like these of our own together?
I have been writing this page and a half almost for months. I have been living this page and a half for my entire life. And this is going to be my take on Mother's Day. And if you're expecting all mushy, you might want to turn down the volume because the conversation is going to take a turn for the dark here and there. And this is about the essence of being a mother. And whether we women exercise that ability or not, we women have the power to recreate, to create, to procreate, and that is our happy sad. That child we hold is, no matter whether he or she exited from our own womb or not, so innocent, so beautiful, so intricate. It's a boy. It's a girl. Oh, elation with maybe a tinge of, oh no, how do I keep this one from harm? Knowing it is almost impossible. This roller coaster, fueled by hormones, will only slow down a little bit for us to catch our breath when sometimes we think to ourselves or out loud, enough! We are alternately scared to death and euphoric. We laugh, we cry, we scream, we work to protect, and we love. All while trying to stay the course and move forward and ahead on this ride where change of direction is status quo. Quick left, quick right, sharp angles that challenge our ability to fight inertia while struggling not to crush the very being we treasure. We are not in charge for more than a few clicks of the wheel and the slow climb to the top to be flung over the edge with no floor in sight. Trust is the key. Trust that gravity will hold and that neither you nor your child will be accidentally loosed, like an astronaut floating away from the mothership, sometimes to be retrieved, sometimes not. We hang on for dear life. We become mental acrobats and master actors so our children see a mostly or sometimes cool, calm, and collected adult. We take our responsibilities as the givers of life with profound thoughtfulness. We become mothers, or we choose not to do so. Sometimes the choice is made for us. Sometimes that choice is against our will, one way or the other. We are women, and we are the vessels from which all others emerge. We are our own power. And let me be clear, once our body is no longer able to reproduce because of medical or age conditions, we become more powerful. Our duties do not wane, they increase. Let's say that we're still on that roller coaster, but the highs and lows have leveled out, and there's still no rest. We can now use our energy and wisdom in all ways to support other women who follow our lead. We become more aware of the importance of humanity, and we can loosen our grip and open our arms in welcome and relief for others. We can share the stories and lessons with children that will ensure continuation. Yes, that is correct. Without us, there's no continuation. We rock and we roll, and we survive the ride every time to the best of our ability. We are women, we are mothers, and we are keepers of this earth.
I've been thinking about grandmothers lately. Like you, I have had them, and as fate would have it, now I am one. My life partner, Brian, and I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren, and we often say we have absolutely no idea how that happened. I certainly never expected either. But I admire those who are intentional about such things. Some of you know Joanne Spears, and I recall years ago she announced, "I am going to be a grandmother, and I am going to be insufferable." So I would especially like to honor Joanne's energy this morning. I offer you 2 poems I wrote for my granddaughters. I wrote them years apart, but as I look back on them, they both have to do with getting from here to there and how the 2 possibly connect. Doing some research for my Aunt Margaret's upcoming memorial gathering, I learned recently that homesteader parents would sometimes plow a furrow from their homes to the school so the children wouldn't get lost in the tall grass. How linear of us. But over 120 years ago, my grandmother ran along such a furrow on the very same prairie that my Celia ran through at 3, which is what prompted this poem. The invitation to Celia on her 3rd birthday. "Come with me in the tall grass," you called, but didn't wait. The urgent prairie pulled you on without us. We stayed behind to watch with awe and envy, fearful of brittle bones and unsteady feet, drinking in your wonder and delight, holding our breath in hopes of seizing time and stopping its relentless march, fixing your image in our hearts, an amulet against the dying of the light. What did you learn in the tall grass, my sweet one? Or what were you remembering? The exhilaration of outstretched arms embracing the rush, the certainty that when you fall, the earth will catch you, the astonishing revelation that you move most lightly when you don't look down, or looking up, see only sky. The knowing that, in the end, it's about the moving through, the moving through. Years later, waiting for another granddaughter to be born, this time halfway around the world, the 2nd poem emerged. And here again, I seem to have found myself pondering what it takes to get from a here to a there and what it all might mean. Helpful thing to know as you listen to these words is that netoperenka in Czech means little bat. This is called waiting for Inca. Hello, I am here standing on my head so I can look you in the eye. We are hanging here, each waiting to enter tunnels leading to the light. It will not be easy. No wonder we hesitate. Truth be told, neither of us knows for sure whether the promise of light is real or just a tease to get us to take the leap. And it is rather fun, after all, biding our time, defying gravity in this way, like a couple of monkeys without tails, making do with prehensile heels, laughing, and feeding each other bananas with sticky fingers. You go first. Someone is sure to catch you. I will always have your back. Welcome to Earth, my sweet netoperenka. Welcome to the spinning, topsy-turvy, blue-faced, love-birthed whirl.
I usually couldn't quite get my bicycle up the hill. Going to visit Fern, first up at Primrose Retirement Community, and then up at Missouri Slope Lutheran Care Center, I would face the practically vertical slant, dismount my bike and my pride, and walk my bike one slow step up and up and up. You know, you have a real knack for living at the tops of high hills, I told her one day on I think it was about 150 degrees. She laughed, and even right now I can hear it. During the legislative session of 2011, I had just about had it. So I climbed the hill to Fern. Seated beside her, I placed my hands on the arm of her chair, and I lay my forehead on my hands. Remember when you were really involved in activism? I said. Did you ever feel like the odds were insurmountable? She paused for a second, maybe. No. I took a deep breath, and that was that. Even at 102, Fern wasn't exactly effusive. But during those 15 years when we were essentially best friends, I amassed an impressive stack of paper scraps, envelopes, activity schedules, and magazine renewal notices on which I had scrawled as much of Fern's wisdom as she cared to put into words. Like, one thing I learned, never pretend to know what you don't know. When Ralph and I got married, I made sure obey wasn't in the service. We always prepare for war when we should prepare for peace. Every church should be a peace church. Looking back, I see what I was doing. Hiking the local mount to sit with her and listen. I went because Fern was a destination. When my mom came to be with me, I took her up to see Fern. When Michaela became my daughter, I took her up to see Fern. When Nick became my son-in-law, I took him up to see Fern. Fern was a place to be. Just a few weeks ago, right here in this church, it was time to schedule a meeting, of course. Everyone there took out our devices, opening up our calendars, and I saw that one of the people would tap his phone and furrow his brow, and then tap his phone again and furrow his brow again. Finally, he exclaimed, "Why does Karen Van Fossan show up as a place?" My instinct was to say, "Thank you, maybe someday." Thank you.